Hello and welcome back to another weather outlook video. My name is Landon. This is Landon's weather forecast. If you're new to the channel, I would ask you to please like and subscribe and share this video with anybody that you think would like weather-related content or in the path of these storms. So today, what we are going to be talking about is the potential for 4 to even 5 to even 6 to even 7 or 8 days of severe weather. So right now they're not showing anything in day 5, day 6, day 7, or 8, but I do think that'll change in the coming future. So right now, what we are paying attention to, me and my team, we are paying attention to this area right here, this box right here. We have a moderate risk in this area, in this box for today. Now, conditions are very, very favorable for severe weather in that shade. In that shade. So, if you are in this area, please, please beg you to take your your severe weather precautions. Because it'll be a day. So let's get straight into the video. Hopefully this will work. Something is wrong with my screen. Okay. So let's get into day 1. So day 1, categorical outlook. We have a moderate risk for severe thunderstorms are expected this afternoon and evening across a broad portion of the high plains, and into the southern plains too. So you can see where that moderate risk is. We have portions of Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, and parts of Minnesota, Montana. We also have a slight risk. We have a slight risk into Montana, a big portion of Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, and then of course Montana. And then we also have a slight risk into parts of Texas. It's mainly northeast of I-20, or northwest of I-20, into parts of Lubbock, Amarillo, Midland, Odessa. That's all the towns I know. And then we have that marginal risk in Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Montana. And we also have a slight risk into parts of southern North Carolina, eastern parts of South Carolina, southeastern parts of Georgia, and northern parts of Florida for showers this morning. So if you are in the South Carolina area, you are getting thunderstorms and shower or rain right now. We have had some severe weather. We had a tornado warning with it. It was only a radar indicated. It had some pretty good rotation with it. So I will look at radar real quick. I can't do that on the computer, but so I will look at. I'll read. So the tornado threat today. Let it load. Is a 2% in all areas, so not very high. But it is still there. So now so there is a 2%, sorry. I'm pulling up my radar on my tablet. There's a 2% in Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle, little corner of Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, and then a 2% into parts of southern North Carolina, South Carolina, and so we do have that 2% in place for tornadoes. Now, the Mesa discussion, there hasn't been one put out yet. I don't think if there is any watches in this, there is any watches in this area, it'll be a severe thunderstorm watch. There won't be any tornado watches. So now what we'll go to is we will look at our, and there's one severe thunderstorm in heading out of Charleston, South Carolina. So if you're in Charleston, you are getting hit by heavy rains, maybe some small hail, but it's not very big hail. So the hail and the wind are the main threats today. You can see that by showing that we have a hatched 30% of hail. So a hatched risk is 2%, 2-inch in diameter hail or larger, and 25 miles of a given area. So like, if you live here, 25 miles in your given area, so anywhere around you, you could have up to 2-inch in diameter hail. So that's almost, I think, baseball size hail. We have that 15% in parts of Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, and then into Texas, right here. And then we have a 5% into Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, South Dakota, a little sliver to North Dakota, and also a little sliver to Kansas. So the hail is probably the biggest threat today. And then we also have a 5% of hail, of severe hail, which is an inch in diameter or larger, into South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So hail is a big threat today. And I think it's, so the tornado threat is so low, I will show you guys why. There's going to be a squall line forming. It'll start about here. There's a frontal boundary that's behind this thing. And at first they will be discrete cells. So that's why you have that's why you do have a tornado potential. But once these things form into a line, a big line like this, that tornado potential goes way down, because then the same amount of energy is going into the whole line. But when you have those discrete cells, then they get its own little area of moisture and energy and instability and all those things to form supercells that start to rotate and then become a mesocyclone, and then they produce tornadoes. So we do have that threat for tornado, and that is why. But like here, it's a big bulge of storms, so that tornado threat is so low over here. That's why it's so low. We also have a 30% chance of wind into parts of Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota. We have a sorry, that's a 30%, a 15% in Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, and then into Texas, and then we have that 5% into parts of Colorado, Texas, Nebraska, Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Louisiana, So there are storms down there. That's just wind. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and so sorry, I gotta get my butt going. So now what we'll go to is we'll look at day 2 categorical. So day 2 is gonna be a big day down in the Oklahoma Panhandle. Now, why is because they do have shear there. They do have instability. They're gonna have everything that is gonna be needed for severe storms, and I will show you that here in a minute. But first, we'll look at the categorical outlook once it decides it's going to load. Okay, I'll just read everything from here once it loads. Sorry, I don't know why this computer runs so slow. Give me 1 second. Okay, so day 2, we have a slight risk into parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Colorado. I think it's like a 5% chance of tornadoes. Hail is like a 15% chance, and wind is a 15% chance. We also have like a 5% chance of hail and wind and tornadoes over into South Carolina, North Carolina, and then that green shade is marginal, same as South Carolina, North Carolina. For some reason, it's not wanting to load. Day 3, probabilistics and categorical outlook. We have a marginal risk in parts of Oklahoma, almost all of Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, and parts of Texas. Everything in there is like a 5% chance. We'll see if it'll load for me. And then we have a 15% chance of wind, hail, and tornadoes on day 4. So Saturday. It's not gonna load. So I will show you models. I gotta kind of hurry. I don't want this video to be too outrageous long. I will go into more depth for tomorrow's storms tomorrow, and then everyday storms for the next couple days. Sorry about my background noise. So here we go. Here's starting off these storms today. We can see there's Arthur. It's moving. It's losing its strength. So not too worried about Arthur anymore. It's what we call post-tropical storm. So it's lost its tropical storm status. It's losing its strength. It's gonna die. So rain right now is into the South Carolina, Georgia area. That is what we were watching this morning. Now this afternoon, those storms start to line up and fire up along this cold front, or frontal boundary. These are the storms in Texas that they're worried about. And then, sorry, these are the storms in Wyoming and South Dakota and Nebraska that they're worried about. So those move off to the east. Here is Thursday. Thursday, the reason why everybody's watching Oklahoma and so here is Thursday. So Friday. For some reason, everything is just wanting to load so slow. Oh, you know what? So basically, in between the 6Z and 12Z time period, there's going to be a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity into parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Colorado, and also into South Carolina and North Carolina. And then here's Friday. You can kind of see why they have implemented into place everything is not wanting to load, so I'm going to have to end this video here. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Share this video with friends, family, people that you think would like weather-related content. Also, today's comment opinion. So today's opinion comment. I want to know, I don't have anything today. Sorry, I'll think of it tomorrow. Please also go and subscribe to the 2 channels down in the description. Immediate Meteorology and tomorrow's weather today. Join our Discord. This is Landon signing off. Stay safe, stay weather aware, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.